Shalom, shalom to the elect. Call on La, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Akwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of JUDGEMENTS. Shalom to Yakim in the faith, doing the work in truth and sincerity. And, in the news, big news, as we all know, brothers and people in the world, they've been watching that submarine, And before we get into that, let's not be tricked for 1 second of Esau's devices, man, Satan's devices. Come on, man, because, the devil will use trickery like this, psyops, psychological operations to distract people, because I believe what's today's date? Let me check something. Salakia. What do I look at? What am I trying to look at? Summer solstice. That's going to be pretty soon, And wow, that's the spirit. So, summer solstice, I guess, began yesterday, and this is a high time for these demons, to do to perform their witchcrafts, man. This is a way for them to distract the world and the nations, into this tomfoolery, because there's way bigger news than this. Who cares if a billionaire died? But we're gonna get into that. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And that's we could use that for the MOTB, for his poisons whenever there's a sickness out there, things of that sort. But for today's topic, we're gonna use it for psyops, man, psychological operations, which are pretty much forms of distraction when there's something else that's bigger and stronger going out there, when there's a bigger elephant in the room, like what? Pedophilia, inflation, World War III, MOTB, So, and then I want to get into this part of the lesson this is a serious matter, if we was to look at it, for what it is. But guess what? The world's laughing at it. And that's fine, because we laughing at it too, man. And the reason that's being is because we're in the end of days, man. The times where people used to weep, cry, and be mournful and gird up their loins for sad calamities, man. Everything's a joke now, man. People don't give a fuck, man. People are ready to give up the ghost, man. But they could be patient, because the Lord gonna come and wipe them away. They don't need to do no suicide. They just need to be patient. The Lord gonna come and take them out, because they're mourning. Even 2/3 of our people, they're not mourning through the spirit, but they don't know it, that they're not living, man. They're existing. They're just pawns. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound. So in other words, sin upon sin is in the midst thereof. The love of many shall wax cold. So since we're in a sinful kingdom, it ain't nothing but sin going around, and most people are just demons, Who cares, Ain't gonna be much sympathy and love and all that. People don't got no patience, man. People, every man for themselves, man. You about to see family against one another, The scriptures speak about that. Salakia, excuse me. So the Lord done judged them, man. So this could be true, it could be false, but we're gonna bring this out. Let me grab this. Bear with me, Abishai. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It reads, woe to them that devise iniquity, sin upon sin, and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Why is it in the power of their hand? Because the Lord allowed them to, man. Because we went off, so the Lord gave everybody a chance to rule over us, man. All these nations. But the last but not least, the last and the best, demon is given control. And we about to back that scripture up with this scripture. And we're going to back that one up with another one. So it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That's what's going on during the summer solstice, man. They doing their, you got a lot of big things coming up. What do they call that thing in Tennessee? Bear with me. I need that page, Lakia. What do they call that thing in Tennessee? Burning Man. This is highly wicked, man. And people don't know what they. I bet the smart elites know what they're getting themselves into, but a lot of them don't. Where they praise these big idols with fires. They go Jake. They do this big thing. This is very heathen-like, man. They do these crazy. It's just, you could tell there's nothing about this that's holy, man. This event does not bring you closer to the Most High. And then what do they got? They got the Bohemian Grove. What is that date? June 20. Man, that's a spirit, man. So usually this when they gather around. They've been gathering around that summer solstice. It changed. The dates change every year, but it's around the same time frame. God. Let's back up this beast, man. All the witchcraft that they do. 13 and Khan. We'll start at verse 12. Because we read Job chapter 9, verse 24. I don't think we did, actually. Salakia, Jake moving so fast. Just for edification's sake, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, the devil, spiritual counterpart, Satan, of Satan. He covered the faces of the judges, which are the Israelites, the saints thereof. If not, where and who is he? If Esau, Edom is done away with, who's the wicked, man? Because, these other heathens are wicked as well, but they're not oppressing us, and they're not as bad as Esau, Edom, man. That's why Esau, Edom has to be Obadiah 1 and 18. We're going to grab that after this. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they shall make an image to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, cause them as many would not worship the image should be killed. So this going into pretty much the hour of temptation, pretty much the power that these people have, these demons, man, and pretty much the magic, the witchcrafts, the spells, how they enchant, people, man. And guess what? That's what they do, man. What does it say? Let me get the point. Salakia. Doeth great wonders, man. Deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. Verse 14. That's the hour of temptation, man. A lot of people are going to be deceived, A lot of people are not. A lot of people ain't even going to be deceived. They just going to be having such itching ears that they're just going to fall for it, That they're just going to go to it without a fight. But Khan, man. But Lord willing, I made the point across, man. Don't be distracted with this. And this is crazy. This is another good fact to know. The Titanic is 2.4 miles down, in case you're wondering about the pressure down there. That's 6,000 PSI. That's like having 35 elephants sitting on your shoulders. If you can't even bear one, imagine 35. So I heard the submarines went down there and they burst into sunder, Let's get Obadiah 1 and 18, because that's what's going on. That's the spirit, because that's what we just camped on for camp. We was talking about these curses being lifted up off of us and put into our enemies, and that's what's happening, man. They waxing worse, man. Anderson Elite, come on, man. The House of Edom is done, and they're not done, but they're on their way to be done after slavery. We're gonna get that. What's gonna happen after they serve hardcore bondage and rigorous labor? Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. In the house of Jacob, the SK, southern kingdom, shall be a fire. In the house of Joseph, NK, the northern kingdom, a flame. Yin and yang, they're gonna be together, twin flame, waxing strong. In the house of Esau, for stubble. Let's get an image of stubble. Stubble is equated to ashes. It's something like an ash. The fuck? Well, I get that, but that's through. Okay, stubble burning. Let me see, stubble ash. This is stubble. This is what the house of Esau, Edom is going to be. Not only their land, Babylon the Great, is going to look like this and worse, but, you know, their house as a body, as a nation. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So this is a prophecy that's coming to pass. And vocab alone and these other heathens, they want to say Esau, Edom is done away with. If Esau, Edom is done away with, why isn't the house of Jacob a fire? Why isn't the house of Joseph a flame? Because we're still under these curses, man. The Lord hasn't brought us up yet. The Lord hasn't changed us yet, you know. Yeah, Jake, these curses are being removed off Jake, but don't get it twisted. These curses are undefeated. You know, these curses are well upon us still. It's just if you could receive it, these curses are being lifted off of us. Even though 2/3 going to die, 2/3 doing well. You got mayors, you got senates, you got lawyers, you got athletes, people making millions, you know. So with that being said, and back in times, we didn't have that much independency, you know. So that's the Lord giving us grace and mercy, you know, to have the Israelite dollar circulating. Not that we have a community or a market, but, you know, Jake not in hardcore bondage, you know. So with that, Lord, when it's edifying, call Halam, like, y'all, Bashim, Shai, double onto the apostle, GMS, Shalom, to Yakim in the faith, Shalom.